Hello everyone, welcome to Earth Archives. Truffles, known as the diamonds of the earth, hold an irreplaceable position in European cuisine. Few ingredients can match their aura of mystery, luxury, and legend. Growing underground with irregular shapes and varying sizes, ranging from as small as a peanut to as large as a palm, truffles captivate chefs and food lovers alike. Despite their differences in size and shape, these variations have nothing to do with their age, as all truffles share the same one-year growth cycle. The peculiar growth of truffles. When it comes to truffles, they're not the kind of thing that just pops up anywhere. They don't rely on sunlight for photosynthesis like most plants. Instead, they live in secrecy, clinging to the roots of specific trees to survive. These landlords are usually mighty trees like oaks and hazels, and truffles act like picky tenants, refusing to grow unless they find the perfect root system to latch onto. But that's not all. These fungi are extremely particular about their surroundings. The soil has to be poor and limestone-rich, rough like sandpaper, and so dry that even grass seems too discouraged to sprout. Every spring, truffles get busy reproducing, working like tiny underground factories to form their young fruiting bodies. When summer rains arrive, they grow at an explosive rate, as if they've been injected with a growth hormone. Then comes winter. Low temperatures and chilly winds trigger the release of their intoxicating aroma. And that scent? It's their secret weapon, designed to lure humans into obsession. When it comes to the aroma of truffles, it's truly an enigma that baffles the senses. Some say it smells like honey, sweet and enticing, while others compare it to cinnamon, with a warm, spicy note. Some insist it has the pungency of garlic. And there are even eccentrics who claim it resembles the scent of sun-dried bed linens or the familiar mustiness of an old house. These descriptions may range from reasonable to downright bizarre, yet each manages to capture a facet of the truffle's unique allure. As you take in its scent, your mind might be flooded with a jumble of images, perhaps a misty forest morning, or maybe an old wooden chest at your grandmother's house. It's an aroma that defies definition, yet lingers in your memory, impossible to forget. This extraordinary fragrance, combined with the truffle's long history and its transformative role in haute cuisine, has cemented its status as a treasure of the culinary world. From the banquet tables of medieval nobility to the finest modern restaurants, the value of truffles isn't just in their rarity. It's in that intoxicating, love it or hate it, strange scent. Truffles are destined to be extraordinary from the moment they emerge from the earth. Picky about their environment, selective with tree roots, and reliant on the weather to refine their aroma, they're like a pampered little princess of the underground. But once they mature, their scent is pure magic, captivating anyone who catches a whiff. Truffle hunters, accompanied by their dogs, scour the hills, sniffing out these hidden treasures and digging them up from the soil. It's like a real-life treasure hunt. Even today, truffles are more than just a delicacy. They've become a part of culture. Those who indulge in them aren't just tasting a flavor, they're savoring a story. The interweaving of history and legend. When it comes to the history of truffles, the noble aristocrat of the underground, we have to go way, way back. As early as 4000 BCE, the Sumerians had already treated truffles as a prized delicacy. Back then, people didn't have advanced technology, yet they somehow discovered that these dark, knobby fungi were incredibly delicious. So much so that they even recorded them in the Nippur tablets, stating that truffles were to be presented as tribute to the king of Mari, a scene that must have been quite spectacular. In ancient Egypt, truffles were a staple at royal feasts. One can easily imagine the noble elites widening their eyes as the aromatic scent filled the banquet hall, their mouths watering at the sight of this mysterious delicacy. The renowned Greek philosopher Pythagoras wasn't just a thinker, he was also a dedicated foodie. He was so enamored with truffles that he declared them the pinnacle of gastronomy, making it clear that he must have indulged in them quite frequently. But don't assume that truffles enjoyed a smooth journey throughout history. While the Roman gourmet Apicius even wrote a detailed truffle cookbook, practically an ancient culinary Bible, things took a strange turn in the Middle Ages. In medieval Europe, the reputation of truffles plummeted to rock bottom. They grew underground, and strangely enough, the grass around them often withered for no apparent reason. This baffling phenomenon raised suspicion, and religious authorities were quick to jump to conclusions. Surely, truffles were in league with the devil, if not outright demonic in nature. Imagine priests denouncing truffles from the pulpit while fearful farmers kept their distance, convinced that anyone who dared to eat them was dancing with the devil. It was an unfortunate smear campaign, and for a time, truffles were cast into culinary exile. That is, until Pope Clement V stepped in and redeemed them. Unlike his superstitious contemporaries, this pope had a refined palate and was utterly convinced of truffles' culinary excellence. He championed them enthusiastically, introducing them to noble circles. With the Pope's endorsement, truffles underwent a dramatic reputation makeover, becoming synonymous with luxury. The French royal court eagerly followed suit. From Francis I to Henry II, and most famously, Catherine de' Medici, every monarch took delight in showcasing truffles at lavish banquets. The scene was nothing short of extravagant. Chandeliers glowing overhead, aristocrats gathered around opulent banquet tables, inhaling the intoxicating aroma of truffles, their faces beaming with pleasure. In the midst of all the gilded plates and silver cutlery, those dark, knobby fungi stole the show. And so, truffles went from being suspected agents of the devil to the undisputed stars of French cuisine. Their unmistakable aroma carried them through the ages, from treasured offerings of the ancient Sumerians to the lavish feasts of Egyptian pharaohs, from medieval superstition and exile to their triumphant reign on the tables of the French aristocracy. It's a true underdog story, a culinary comeback like no other. Today, truffles are revered as gourmet treasures. But who would have guessed that their history is more dramatic than a soap opera? Modern cultivation and spread of truffles. The cultivation history of truffles, the so-called underground aristocrat, didn't really take shape until the 17th century. It all started with a poor farmer in Provence, Joseph Talon, who, perhaps out of sheer desperation, had a stroke of genius. He discovered that if he scattered oak tree seeds in limestone-rich soil, truffles would thrive beneath them. Imagine Talon, shovel in hand, covered in dirt, planting saplings in the rugged terrain, only to find, years later, that the ground beneath his trees was brimming with fragrant black truffles. It must have felt like hitting the jackpot. This discovery was a game changer. Truffles were no longer just a rare treasure found randomly in the wild. The dream of cultivating them had finally become a reality. Talon's method was like giving truffles their own private greenhouse, and for the first time, humans moved from simply relying on nature's whims to actively cultivating these elusive fungi. The Périgord region of France seized the opportunity, leveraging its limestone soil and oak trees to become a world-renowned truffle-producing powerhouse. Their reputation spread far and wide, cementing truffles as one of the most prized delicacies in culinary history. Don't think that just because cultivation techniques have improved, truffles are suddenly everywhere. They remain a rare delicacy. Though Talon's discovery led to a slight increase in production, truffles are naturally picky, growing at an agonizingly slow pace, and their yields stubbornly refuse to rise. Things got even worse in the 20th century. When 2 world wars ravaged Europe, farmland was abandoned, oak forests were left untended, and truffles suffered along with them. Post-war France saw truffle production plummet, at its worst dropping to just around 30 tons per year, a truly heartbreaking figure. Imagine farmers and their truffle-hunting dogs scouring the hills for hours, only to dig up a tiny handful. With supply dwindling, prices soared to jaw-dropping heights. Even today, the situation hasn't improved much. The oak forests of Périgord still smell as fragrant as ever, but truffle numbers stubbornly refuse to return to their former golden age, when they seem to grow everywhere. Cultivation techniques may have advanced, but factors like climate, soil conditions, and the lingering effects of war have kept truffle yields frustratingly low. Truffles have had quite a turbulent journey. From Talon's stroke of genius in the 17th century to the post-war production slump, their history is anything but smooth. They're no longer entirely reliant on being foraged in the wild, yet they haven't become an everyday ingredient either, still as finicky and rare as ever. Farmers hunting for truffles rely on their noses, grip their trowels tightly, and dig with hopeful anticipation, but in the end, their harvest still depends on nature's whims. So next time you talk about truffles, don't forget to mention Talon, the pioneer of cultivation. From a poor farmer to a man who changed history, he single-handedly ushered truffles into the age of human cultivation, only for war to hit the pause button on his legacy. Talk about a dramatic twist. Hunting for truffles. Truffles have an irresistible aroma that acts like a natural animal magnet. Wolves, dogs, pigs, and even bears, all creatures with keen noses, are drawn to their scent and can't help but follow it. Among them, pigs are the ultimate truffle treasure hunters. Let one loose in an oak forest, and it will snuffle and root around, its nose twitching with excitement, unearthing buried truffles in no time. But here's the problem. Pigs are greedy. Their first instinct upon finding a truffle isn't to hand over. It's to eat it. Picture a pig, snout covered in dirt, happily munching on a truffle worth a fortune while a frantic farmer chases after it, yelling, "Spit out. That's mine." The scene is as frustrating as it is hilarious. To prevent their prized fungi from becoming pig snacks, clever humans eventually turn to dogs for the job. Unlike pigs, dogs are obedient, eager to please, and, most importantly, won't steal the goods. That's why, in modern truffle hunting, man's best friend has become the #1 truffle hunting partner. Training dogs to find truffles sounds both simple and fun. It starts when they're just puppies. Trainers feed them sausages infused with the scent of truffles. The moment the pups catch a whiff of that earthy aroma, their eyes light up, tails wagging as they eagerly munch away. Over time, they associate the smell of truffles with delicious rewards. As they grow older, they are taken into the forest. The moment they sniff the air, their truffle radar switches on, and they excitedly run around, noses pressed to the ground, searching for hidden treasures. Imagine a little dog circling around the roots of a tree, sniffing intently, then suddenly barking triumphantly after finding a truffle. The farmer rushes over, digs into the soil, and voila! There's a fragrant black gem waiting to be harvested. Not only is the training process enjoyable, but it's also incredibly effective. Once a well-trained dog is on the hunt, truffles don't stand a chance of staying hidden. Farmers are thrilled with the results, and using dogs is far more reliable and less stressful than dealing with truffle-hungry pigs. Besides dogs, there's an even more unusual helper in the search for truffles: certain species of flies. These tiny creatures have an incredible sense of smell, even sharper than most animals. The moment truffles release their aroma, the flies buzz straight toward them, drawn in by the irresistible scent. But they don't just stop there. They actually lay their eggs on the truffles, as if marking their claim, "This one's mine." Farmers who spot flies hovering persistently over a particular patch of ground know there's treasure hidden beneath. A quick dig with a shovel, and sure enough, a truffle is revealed. While this method isn't as widely used, it's fascinating to think that even flies can be truffle hunters. Nature works in mysterious ways. So, next time you talk about truffles, don't forget to mention these animal assistants. From greedy pigs to obedient dogs and even egg-laying flies, each one has its own way of helping humans unearth these underground treasures. It's all part of what makes the world of truffles so incredibly interesting. The 2-star varieties of truffles. When it comes to the underground aristocrats of the culinary world, the Western world recognizes 2 undisputed stars: France's black truffle and Italy's white truffle. These 2 hold such prestige that they're like the twin luminaries of haute cuisine. France's black truffle, especially the prized ones from the Périgord region, is a true gem of the earth. It has a deep inky black exterior, but slice it open, and you'll find intricate black and white marbling as stunning as fine marble. Its season runs from November to March, and once the winter winds start blowing, its unmistakable aroma begins to fill the air. When eaten raw, it has a delicate sweetness, like a secret gift from the forest. But don't be fooled by its soft, fragrant core. Its outer skin is as tough as armor, requiring careful peeling before eating, or you'll be in for a workout just chewing it. In Parisian fine dining restaurants, black truffles are treated like VIPs, luxurious, rare, and priced accordingly. A small piece placed on a plate can make a serious dent in your wallet. But for food lovers, that subtle, intoxicating aroma makes it all worth it. Now let's talk about the white truffle from northwest Italy. This elusive gem is like the unicorn of the culinary world. Unlike its black cousin, it cannot be cultivated artificially. If you want a taste, you're at the mercy of nature. The entire annual yield in Italy is barely 2 tons, and truffle hunters, accompanied by their trained dogs, scour the hills to unearth these rare treasures. The flavor of white truffle is as rich and full as a harvest moon, with an indescribable depth that seems to fill your senses with pure bliss. But it's incredibly delicate. Heat is its worst enemy. The moment it meets high temperatures, its intoxicating aroma vanishes. So it must be eaten raw. The best way to enjoy it? Shaved into paper-thin slices and sprinkled over steaming pasta or creamy risotto. Imagine those delicate truffle shavings drifting down like snowflakes, melting into the dish, releasing waves of earthy, heady fragrance. One bite, and it's like your taste buds are waltzing in a grand ballroom, pure luxury. Because of its extreme rarity, the price of white truffle soars to astronomical heights, making it one of the most expensive ingredients in the world. If you're indulging in white truffles, congratulations, you're officially dining like royalty. Black truffles and white truffles each have their own unique charm. One is bold with a hint of sweetness, while the other is delicate and full-bodied. Yet both have secured their place in the culinary world through their unmistakable aroma. The French revere black truffles as a national treasure, while Italians praise white truffles as if they were fine art. Fans on both sides even debate which one reigns supreme. But no matter how you compare them, the allure of these truffles is undeniable. Their sky-high prices make wallets ache, yet people still can't resist splurging for a taste. Out in the oak forests, truffle hunters and their dogs search tirelessly, noses to the ground, hoping to unearth a hidden gem. Finding a truffle is like hitting the jackpot, an underground treasure that turns an ordinary dish into pure luxury. Truffles, these luxurious treasures from beneath the earth, are shrouded in mystery and allure, whether through their history, cultural significance, or unique way of growing. Once an exclusive delicacy on European aristocratic tables, they have now become a coveted ingredient among food lovers worldwide. From the fresh, slightly sweet notes of black truffles to the rich, full-bodied aroma of white truffles, their unmistakable flavors have elevated truffles to the pinnacle of the culinary world. Thank you all for watching. What are your thoughts on truffles, the aristocrats of the dining table? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next episode.